Look, man, I know it's been a minute. It definitely has been a minute. Solomon obviously had a fantastic season. But as you can tell by the title, I took some time to consider whether or not that was his final season. I did. I took some time to consider retirement of Solomon Daniels. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But today is the Pro Bowl episode. Solomon's in the Pro Bowl for the 5th straight time. And look how many Chiefs are also in the Pro Bowl. You got Mark Randolph starting for the AFC. Darrell Irvin, bro, he snuck in as an alternate. Somebody dropped out. I don't know who it was, but Darrell Irvin snuck his way into the Pro Bowl. So congratulations to him after his first 1,000-yard season. The entire offensive line is here. The whole offensive line. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. The entire offensive line is going to start in the Pro Bowl. So it's basically going to be the Chiefs offense versus the NFC. On defense, obviously Tamba Hali is going to be in Hawaii. He set the single season record for sacks in a season with 23, breaking Michael Strahan's record. You've got the two young corners, Lennox Suggs and Todd Pearson. They are going to be in the Pro Bowl because of the seasons they had as really young corners in the game. And behind them will be the Don, Solomon Daniels. Well, he didn't set a record, but he did come second in Chiefs history for interceptions in a season with 10, had a pick 6. He also led the league in picks. So, of course, he's in Hawaii. But again, not the bowl that Solomon wanted to be in. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Solomon is going to make the Pro Bowl. He may not start every single time, but he's going to be in the Pro Bowl. I mean, he's had seasons like the 2011 season, which was not that good. And he still ended up second in Pro Bowl voting for free safeties, and he's played the second half. So, you know, the Pro Bowl is like, yeah, Solomon goes here every single year. The Super Bowl has been the one bowl that Solomon's wanted to go to, but has never even appeared in. The closest Solomon has ever gotten was his rookie season with San Francisco, lost in the NFC Championship to the Eagles. And, you know, you look back and you're like, wow, we started chasing a ring in year 3. Played 2 seasons in San Francisco, which I stand by that. I got a comment not too long ago saying, you know, I think hindsight being what it is, I think Solomon should have just stayed in San Francisco the whole time. I stand by the decision to leave. And the reason why is because that franchise was going in directions that made literally 0 sense. It made no sense. They had shown that they didn't have a consistent quarterback. So Alex Smith starts Solomon's rookie year. Solomon goes into year 2, and they say, okay, we're going to go with this rookie named Vinnie Johnson. And Vinnie Johnson played pretty decently, but by the end of the season, you looked at it, and he wasn't any better than Alex Smith. So then Solomon leaves. What do? They go back to Alex Smith. Alex Smith starts in 2009, and then in 2010, they gave the keys right back to Vinnie Johnson. It was like there was no consistency at the quarterback position. It's not about who you have on defense necessarily. The defense was largely consistent, but it was, you know, just the turmoil they had on the offensive side of the football, and it was very frustrating. Also, Solomon never chose the Niners. The Niners chose him in the 3rd round. Okay, that was a Niners decision. Solomon never chose that. So he had a chance to kind of get out of that that craziness going into his 3rd season, and he decided to go to a place that he thought was a lot more stable, which was Denver. Denver had a quarterback. They knew Jay Cutler was their starting quarterback, and Jay Cutler was their quarterback for the first 2 seasons he was there. We get to the years after that, and you know, it got a little weird, right? With Cedric Siegel starting as a rookie, and he was 3rd string. He wasn't even making $1 million, I don't think, or maybe he was. It was Sylvester Jones. That's right. Sylvester Jones ended up being like the emergency quarterback that would come in. So things didn't go the way that we planned it in Denver. But then you go to Kansas City, and this was the ring-chasing year. Kansas City had just won back-to-back Super Bowls, beat the Eagles, beat the Falcons, had just won back-to-back Super Bowls, And then you joined the team to shore up the secondary because they lost some pieces on defense. They also lost some pieces on offense. Okay, Larry Johnson was the league MVP in 2011. Tony Gonzalez, well, that's a future Hall of Famer that's at tight end, and both of them are gone. And so you go with John Shutt at running back, a rookie. You go with Daryl Byam, who was Tony's backup, and he did pretty well. And so you lost some pieces on offense. But the biggest loss was their kicker. It was losing Medlock. Medlock kicked the game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. That was him. Medlock did that. Medlock kicked the field goal that sent the Super Bowl against the Falcons to overtime. And so to lose a 99 overall kicker and go with a guy whose overall is less than Doug James, by the way, he was drafted in the second round, that's the issue. It's not who you have at running back. It's not who you have at quarterback all the way. And that's like who you have at quarterback is important. But it ain't about who you got at running back. It ain't about who you got at tight end. You got to have a good quarterback. But you got to have a kicker that can kick. And you got to have a punter that can punt. Go back to Solomon's first 2 years in the NFL. You had Joe Nedney at kicker. You had Andy Lee at punter. They were as solid as you can get. You can't get more solid than that. You can't get any more solid than those two. And now we go from that to we dealt with Deion McGrath. We've dealt with Doug James. This year it was Melvin McGuire. And old dude, I'm not even remembering his name. But he kept shanking punts. I can't remember his name right now. So that's just kind of the state of the league. Oh, and by the way, you're going to see it a little bit in this game. I'm going to include it purposely. This is post-commentary. I haven't done post-commentary since season 1. But I'm going to include it in this video. You're going to see kickers kick out of bounds. When Solomon played the Madden Bowl, which that was an amazing opportunity. You're going to take a little break from the Pro Bowl here. When Solomon played the Madden Bowl, took control of the Kansas City Chiefs, because this is the most talented team Solomon has ever played on. So I wanted to see what it felt like to actually have Mark Randolph at the fingertips, what it felt like to have Darrell Irvin right there at my disposal. And I'm telling you right now, it was a ton of fun. Absolutely fun. That is an explosive player. I didn't realize how explosive Darrell Irvin was. Going against him, playing with him, going against him in practice, for sure, you could tell he's good. But actually having him at your fingertips, that's a dangerous dude. It's a dangerous dude right there. But the point I'm making is, check out the Packers, controlled by the computer. Not controlled by another person, the computer. Shank and a shank and a shank. Missing field goals. I mean, it's literally in the system. The sliders are up. The sliders are up. And yet, AI-controlled kickers and punters still don't know how to kick or punt. It's how the game is. So, you know, in my opinion, we're at a point where we know what it is, right? We know what Madden 08 is going to do. Madden 08 is not going to respect the legends that are in the game. When your contract expires, you're done. None of the other 31 teams want to even pick you up. They want to draft some generated, made-up player that's going to have a 70 overall that might grow. Which Mark Randolph is one of those players. Mark Randolph was a rookie and has grown to a 92 overall. So that's been pretty cool. But I don't think that would have happened if Solomon joined Kansas City after he left San Francisco. The Chiefs offered Solomon a contract when he left San Francisco. That was Mark Randolph. That was Mark Randolph's rookie season. I don't think he would have grown to 92 overall. I don't. But he's one of those players that have grown. Other than that, though, no one else really grows. No one else grows. There's no Tom Brady. There's no Peyton Manning. There's no Eli Manning. There's no Ben Roethlisberger. None of them. Receivers. There's no Randy Moss anymore. There's no Terrell Owens anymore. There's no Larry Fitzgerald anymore. You look at tight ends. There's no Tony Gonzalez. Where's Jeremy Shockey? He's gone. You don't have Greg Olsen anymore. So you don't have any of these talented guys who actually made an impact in the NFL. And once Ed Reed's contract is up, he's gone. Once, Vic is already gone. Vince Young is already gone. Once Dante Stallworth's contract is up, he's gone. Drew Brees, Donovan McNabb, Reggie Bush. Once their contracts expire, they're gone. They're done. They don't come back. So the more we play into the series, the more made up it gets. There's no actual competition because everybody is made up. And yet, even with all the competition made up, and Solomon being on the best team, he cannot go to the Super Bowl and win it. Outside of all of the Madden 08 football universe stuff, I'm going to break the fourth wall for a second. So this isn't really embarrassing as much as it is just disappointing. I announced halfway through the season that, I was on the road to 2K subs. Like, yo, we're on the road to 2K subs. We're doing great. Ever since I made that announcement, I have lost way more subs than I've actually gained. When I made that announcement, I think I had 1,669. So I was nearing 1.67 subs. At last check, it is flat, 1.6. So I'm at 1,600 flat. So that means I've lost at least 69. It could be less than that. I could be back into the 1,500s right now. And that is concerning. It might be YouTube going through and deleting bot accounts. If there's any bots that are subscribed to me, if there are any inactive accounts, that might be a thing. Any spam accounts that also, those are going to get deleted. But it also, I can't rule out that it could also be people just saying, okay, I'm done. And they're leaving by the tens. I know who watches this series. I know the people that comment on every video, and I appreciate y'all more than you guys know. I really, really do. Like, you guys are in the top 1% of the Five Wars family. You are an elite group of supporters that I incredibly appreciate. I thank you guys for the support, the love that you've shown this series. I love doing this. I love doing Solomon Daniels, but I think it has gotten to a point because of the football reasons and because of what's actually happening channel-wise that, retirement is close. Ultimately, let me just go ahead and put it out there because you're probably hanging on to see if Solomon's retiring. He's not going to retire right now. We're going to play this Pro Bowl, and we're not going to retire. We're going to play out the final year of the contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. After that, Solomon will be a free agent in the NFL. And I think there's only one team Solomon would play for. There is only one team Solomon would play for after his contract expires with the Chiefs. And that is the San Francisco 49ers. If Solomon gets a chance to go back to where it all started and end his career where it began, he will do that. He will put on the number 37 again that Jimmy Johnson allowed him to wear. It's a retired number. But Jimmy Johnson, who played defensive back, believed in Solomon's potential and allowed Solomon to wear his retired number. And Solomon left after 2 years. Solomon would put that jersey back on and give the 49er fans everything he's got left in the tank. Other than that, Solomon will probably be done. So don't consider the upcoming season the farewell season. It very well could be. But if the Niners offer Solomon a contract, Solomon will probably go to San Francisco and play one more season. If Solomon doesn't go to San Francisco, I think it's okay. And the reason why is because of this. Solomon is obviously going to go to Denver, right? He's in the AFC West. He's going to play Denver twice. So he has one more trip to Denver on the schedule. But also, the Chiefs will go to San Francisco to play the 49ers this year. So Solomon will go back to Candlestick Park. Would it be Solomon's, farewell tour and his last stop is in San Francisco? It might be. So that's also a possibility. So that's just something that we'll talk about a little bit more in the next video when we look at the season ahead. We'll go over, the things that happen in the offseason. There's going to be a lot of changes to the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs are going to look very, very different. There are so many contracts that are expiring that it is, man, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be nearly as good as they were for the past 3 seasons. I don't. Luckily, the quarterback isn't going anywhere for now. Quarterback is still here. But outside of that, there's going to be wide-scale changes offensively and defensively. We'll go over those. AFC wins the Pro Bowl. Lee Evans won MVP. You probably saw him getting all them catches. Yeah, he got MVP. The dude had 200 yards in the first half. So, AFC wins. Oh, and by the way, because I totally skipped this, the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. Yeah. The Miami Dolphins beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the Super Bowl champions. Can you believe that? The Miami Dolphins have the Lombardi in South Beach. It's crazy, ain't it? All right, everybody. It's your boy 5 Wars Deep. One love.